He's an all-pro. Let's not do body work. For the sake of this, because we're going to get completely derailed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just asking you proving his best quarterback in the season.
Okay, I'm just saying, okay, let's not talk about Jaylen Herz right now. Let's talk about Dak Prescott.
Besides Joy Taylor busting the splits on Shady McIdiot's little earthworm, can someone please explain to me why Speak and all these other programs protect Jaylen Herz so much as if he's accomplished so much in the National Football League? Jaylen Herz hasn't accomplished anything more than someone like a Rex Grossman, a Joe Flacco, a Nick Foles. We've seen this story before. Y'all are protecting this man like he's Queen Elizabeth's casket. Why can't we talk about body of work? Because he made one all-pro team when Dak Prescott has put up better seasons than that of the season Jaylen Herz even put up when he made that all-pro? It's not Dak Prescott's fault he played at the peak of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and all these guys' powers. Yeah, okay, Jaylen Herz had a good season last year. But as I'm about to show you, that season that he has does not at all separate him from Dak Prescott. Honestly, the only thing that season did for Jaylen Herz was put him even in the same conversation as the caliber of quarterback that Dak Prescott is. And everything that I'm saying, I'm about to back up with actual facts and stats.
That would have to, because to be
okay, but if we talk about body of work, Jaylen Herz and the Eagles were in the Super Bowl in the last game of the season.
Sure.
We went. We was there.
That's the best game.
It's the best game. Yeah. Like, let's not do that. I don't want to do that. That was last year. Let's talk about this year.
Y'all are holding on to this playoff run for dear life. I want y'all to just peep game how Booby Taylor had to look across the table for approval from her brain mate, meaning the person that she's sharing the other half of her brain with from dumbass McCoy, just to make sure that she wouldn't get in the doghouse before they got home. Spoiler alert, that playoff run from Jaylen Herz wasn't that impressive.
He's making other people better. To me, that's what's really special about Dak. Dak has always been a good quarterback. He's always won games during the regular season. He's always put you in positions to win games in the postseason. He's never made you really feel like he's making everybody better. This year, it looks like he's making everybody better.
Now, Booby, I don't know if your micro braids are too tight or what's going on, if they're squeezing your scalp or something, but yes, Dak Prescott has made players play above the level that they were expected. Off the top of my head, I could probably name at least 3 players, but I'm waiting to the meat of the video and we'll actually jump into the numbers.
Has anyone ever said Dak Prescott was bad?
No,
I said I've never said he was bad.
He's playing. Well, Shady.
No, what I was saying, he's playing A. He's playing
bad, yes.
See, this is where I kind of lose it. When you start trying to lie and trying to gaslight the audience into believing whatever fricked up version of the truth that you want to try to peddle, that's when it becomes an issue with me. Joy, your show's biggest hit this season was a clip of Shady McCoy saying Dak was ass. What are we talking about?
I've always thought that Dak was a good quarterback. He's won a bunch of regular season games. He's won the division. He's won postseason games. Let's not forget, again, I hate bringing up old stuff, but the owner decided to pay Ezekiel Elliott before he paid a franchise quarterback. He decided to do that.
Did you really just admit, as someone who's supposed to be cosplaying as an analyst or commentator or whatever the hell you're supposed to be on TV, did you really just admit that you're allowing a decision that was made in the year 2019? You are allowing a decision that was made in the year 2019, 18, whatever it was, by Jerry Jones to pay the then running back, the then focal point of his offense, a guy who was also an MVP candidate or in MVP running his rookie season in 2016. You're bringing that up as a detriment against Dak Prescott and a reason why you guys should criticize him, because Jerry Jones was reluctant to give a 4th-round quarterback franchise quarterback pay. Are you serious right now?
I can only operate off the information you give me. And I, by the way, thought that was outrageous. I thought it was crazy to do that. All respect to running backs. But that's crazy to pay a running back before you pay your franchise quarterback. I didn't do that. I don't run the Cowboys. Jerry did that. Jerry's the one that said he wanted a quarterback competition. Cowboys fans were the ones talking about maybe we should go with Cooper Rush last year. So it's not, this whole narrative isn't made up.
You top-heavy, air-brained moron. You did not just try to place the criticism and the extreme level of critiquing going on with Dak Prescott, you did not just try to place that at the feet of Jerry Jones and Cowboy fans themselves. When you and other people like you have been cashing checks at the bank for the last couple of years based off of running shows headlined by Dak Prescott and Dallas Cowboys slander. I'm about to get into y'all list. Now, rest assured, because I know y'all gonna be waiting on it, we got plenty to tackle as it pertains to this particular program, because a lot of people was talking out the side of their neck. We gonna handle Shady McCoy on the next video. But, Joy Taylor, why does it seem like it genuinely hurts you guys' fabric to your core to give Dak Prescott his dues? Joy Taylor, you know why it hasn't seemed like Dak Prescott has made other people around him better, or why you haven't noticed that? Because you haven't actually been watching. Because you haven't really been paying attention. You know, us Cowboys fans, people that have actually watched this team, we can actually name a couple of players that Dak Prescott has gotten paid to this point in his career because he's helped them play above the expectation that was set for them coming into the league. Off the top of my head, Noah Brown, Cedric Wilson Jr., Dalton Schultz. I'm about to show you some statistics that's going to back that point up in just a second. But we're also about to dive into the fallacy that is Jaylen Herz being in this cut above Dak Prescott and his career resume being better than that of Dak Prescott because he got voted into one All-Pro team, whenever Dak Prescott has had better seasons than that of Jaylen Hurts' All-Pro season. And y'all keep giving Jaylen Herz all this credit for these playoff runs, bro. Let's take a deeper look, shall we, Booby McCoy? First things first, let's address this because I'm so tired of hearing this dumb, lazy narrative be peddled. I know exactly what you guys' formula is now. You see a couple of tweets or posts on X that you think are smart or heady, and then you build your entire narrative around it without actually doing the real footwork and research that's required to make sure that you can back up the BS that you're spewing on national television. Jaylen Herz continues to get credit for this amazing playoff run that he supposedly went on last year, leading his team to a Super Bowl appearance. And they lost, by the way. I don't remember the last time players got so much protection for losing in the Super Bowl. Hell, I remember a time Rex Grossman got the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl, and then the man didn't have a job a couple years later. So stop it. Miss me with all this. Oh, you bring your team to the Super Bowl, you're a made man. You win the Super Bowl, and maybe you're a made man, depending on how your team actually accomplished that feat. Just see Trent Dilfer, but at least he's relevant now. He wouldn't even be relevant if it went for that Super Bowls. But you win a Super Bowl, and then you get that kind of protection. You get the benefit of the doubt. You don't get the benefit of the doubt for losing in a Super Bowl after you put up subpar statistics and played subpar games leading up to the very same Super Bowl. In fact, we keep acting like Jaylen Herz is some above average playoff performer when actually he's very average and actually creeping closer to the below average side. Jaylen Herz has a passer rating of 84.7 with 837 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions in 4 games in the playoffs in his career over the span of 2 different seasons. In 2021, he was one and done, passed 53.5 completion percentage for 258 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions for a whopping quarterback rating of 60.0. Last year, during this amazing playoff run that you guys are convinced that Jaylen Herz made, he played in 3 games last year, had a completion percentage of 66.7, which is okay, I guess. Threw for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That sounds kind of like a good playoff run, but then you take a look, you're like, why is this quarterback rating only at 96.9? Maybe because if you take a look at the actual game-by-game breakdown, prior to getting to the Super Bowl, Jaylen Herz had not even thrown for 300 total yards in that playoff run last year. In fact, he only completed 31 passes to get to the Super Bowl. If you are a fan of football, you have to be realistic and say he did not carry anything but his shoulder pads in that playoff run last year. The Philadelphia Eagles were just a far superior team to the other teams that they faced, and the 49ers quarterback got hurt. That's why they made it to the Super Bowl. Let's be real. They beat the Giants, and then they beat San Francisco with a 3rd/4th string quarterback starting in that particular game. Even in that game, Jaylen Herz completed 15 out of 25 passes for 121 yards. Are we serious? These are the type of performances that garners players all this protection and to be placed on this pedestal. If that's the case, Dak Prescott should be looked at as the second coming of Joe Montana based off the stats he's put up in the playoffs, if this is where our bar is. Oh, San Francisco is a tough team, you say. The Giants. He completed 16 passes out of 24 for 154 freaking yards last year, y'all. Are y'all kidding me? Okay, he threw for 2 touchdowns. It's the Giants, bro. Are y'all kidding me? Even if you take the 2 touchdowns away that he threw, they would have blown the Giants out 24-7, bro. Are y'all kidding me? Are we seriously acting like Jaylen Herz carried this team to this amazing deep playoff run off of his arm as a quarterback? Is that what we're acting like? And they lost the Super Bowl, so I don't care what he did in the Super Bowl. They lost. And he got carried all the way to the Super Bowl. It was about time that he carried his weight. Now, we just took a look at Jaylen Herz's postseason stats. Everyone likes to poo-poo Dak Prescott and his postseason stats, but already at first glance, he's a better playoff performer than Jaylen Herz is. He has a passer rating of 92.3 with 1,559 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 6 games in the playoffs in his career, bro. If you take a look at it, Dak Prescott has had one bad playoff run, and that was in 2021 when we got disappointed by the San Francisco 49ers. But even in that game, in one game in which he lost, he almost eclipsed the statistics that Jaylen Herz put up in his entire NFC run last season in one game in a loss. He threw for 250 yards, a touchdown, and we want to continue to sit here and act like that Dak Prescott is just this terrible playoff performer. You can look at his numbers right here, guys. Look at his numbers. 2 of the 4 trips he's made to the playoffs, he's had a quarterback rating of over 100. In one of the other ones, his quarterback rating was 91.3. But even from this snapshot, you can see that Dak Prescott is a better playoff performer than Jaylen Herz. Let's stop acting like Jaylen Herz has solidified himself in the NFL as an elite quarterback, because even if we look outside of the playoffs, his numbers are very, very pedestrian. In the first full season that he started for Philadelphia, do you know what his quarterback rating was for that entire season? 87.2. Do you know what his quarterback rating was for his all-pro season? 101.5. Do you know what kind of quarterback rating that will be for Dak Prescott? Jaylen Hertz's best season, do you realize that his best season as a professional, if you look at it and you look at Dak Prescott's career, Jaylen Hertz's best season as a professional as of this moment would be Dak Prescott's 4th best season in the NFL. His rookie year was better. His 2021 was better. His 2023 is better. And that will make it his 4th best season. If you were to take Jaylen Hertz's best year of his career and give it to Dak Prescott, that will be his 4th best season he's put up, bro. Dak Prescott's career resume is better than that of Jaylen Herz. Dak Prescott has earned more respect over a longer period of time of consistent high-level play. He has earned more respect than Jaylen Herz, even though the Eagles made it to the Super Bowl last year. Again, do we look at Rex Grossman like an elite quarterback? Do we look at Joe Flacco like an elite quarterback? Do we look at all these guys that just took their teams to the Super Bowl and lost? Or in Joe Flacco's case, he won and he still wasn't looked at as an elite quarterback based off of one playoff run. When did one playoff run in which you were carried largely, when did one playoff run solidify your status as an elite quarterback? And the problem with this is a lot of the current elite quarterbacks outside of Patrick Mahomes is a 2-time Super Bowl winner. these guys are being buoyed by a singular playoff run. Josh Allen, he went toe-to-toe to Patrick Mahomes and lost. And that's why he's considered to be elite the way that he is. Jaylen Herz was mediocre leading up to his Super Bowl appearance, and yet he's considered to be elite. Joe Burrow was getting carried by his defense and the kicker during his Super Bowl run for the Cincinnati Bengals, and then they lost, and he's been protected ever since. Justin Herbert has never even been there, been close to it, and he's protected. What's going on? And okay, since I got the playoff stuff out the way, let me address the point that you made about Dak Prescott not making guys around him better. Cedric Wilson Jr. got paid from the Miami Dolphins after coming off of a season in which Dak Prescott made this man look like he could possibly be a wide receiver too, or a true every down slot receiving option, and Miami ain't even using this man no more. The season before Miami picked him up in free agency, Dak Prescott allowed this man to catch 45 balls for 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. Since he's left Dallas, he hasn't compiled those stats in 2 seasons worth of games with the Miami Dolphins. Cedric Wilson's best year was a year under Dak Prescott, where he played well above the expectations of him as a player. And he was rewarded based off of playing with Dak Prescott. That was 2021. Hell, Dalton Schultz, another guy that wasn't drafted high. He wasn't a first-round tight end. He wasn't some tight end that was expected to be a starting caliber tight end that's just going to be this weapon on the field. 2018 and 2019, he was barely even used. All of a sudden, when he gets on the field, 2020, 63 catches, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2021, 78 catches, 808 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2022, 57 catches, 577 yards, 5 touchdowns. This year with the Texans, he might not even reach his worst year as a Cowboy statistics this year for the Texans. So again, another player that performed well above expectations, because no one expected Dalton Schultz to be a near 1,000-yard receiving type of tight end. Another guy that performed well above expectations with Dak Prescott and got paid because of it. Oh, another guy, Noah Brown. Another receiver that wasn't looked at to be some type of career team-saving type of receiver. He wasn't looked at to be a legit wide receiver 2 type of guy. His best season was 2022, the year right before he got paid and was able to extend his career some more based off of Dak Prescott feeding this guy and making him look like an actual viable option in the 1 year where he had any type of success. So you see, Dak Prescott is taking players whose expectation levels are way down here and having them perform up to here. No one thought that Jake Ferguson was going to be having the type of season that he's having right now. No one. The Cowboys used a 2nd-round draft pick on a tight end this past draft because they didn't think that Jake Ferguson was going to solidify himself like he has. But Jake Ferguson on his own has put in that work, and Dak Prescott trusts this man, and he's feeding him, and he's allowing him to really flourish as a player. Dak Prescott has had a history of making subpar players or players that are looked at as average players perform and show up in bigger moments than what you would honestly expect them to be in. Oh, and Joy Taylor, one Google search will show you that yes, y'all were on a nationally televised program calling Dak Prescott a bad quarterback, a trash quarterback, a subpar player. Don't sit here and try to twist the narrative and act like we as Cowboys fans are the ones that created all these horrible narratives about Dak Prescott. To be quite honest, the people that were parroting a lot of the stuff that you're trying to put on us, they got from y'all. They're not smart enough to come up with their own opinions and thoughts and conclusions about this team and about a player. They depend on the media to provide them with their thought processes. So quit acting like the Cowboys fans created this. The Cowboys fans y'all are talking about, they're not the informed Cowboys fans. They're the casual bandwagon riding media sheep that listen to the things that you guys have to say, believing that it's actually based in some type of factual world, and they go around repeating the same talking points that jackwagons like Shady McCoy and Booby Taylor spout out of their uninformed well-informed mouths, and they make themselves look just as ignorant as these talking heads do. Don't try to twist it and make it sound like Jerry Jones was welcoming a quarterback competition for the purpose of replacing Dak Prescott. You see, the beautiful thing about the internet is people can go back and actually look up the things that you're saying and prove that they're verifiably wrong. Jerry Jones did not welcome a quarterback competition for the reasons of trying to replace Dak Prescott. He was responding to a question about a quarterback competition in Dallas. And what he said was, if we're talking about a quarterback competition, I would welcome that because that means that Cooper Rush is winning games when Dak Prescott is injured right now. That's what he was referring to, not legitimately bring into question Dak Prescott's security as the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys because of Cooper Rush. You ignorant ass lady. See, I'm not even trying to get disrespectful, but I get really frustrated when people are disingenuous and then they try to just freaking blatantly lie to try to twist the narrative in their favor and exonerate themselves of any blame or any accountability for them creating a lot of the negative perception that is on Dak Prescott's shoulder right now. You guys created those narratives and you asked the questions seriously, not understanding what Jerry Jones was actually saying because you seen a sentence, a quotable clip, and then you took that and ran with it, further proving how terrible all of you are at your jobs. You don't just take a news clipping or a headline and then make a whole story out of it, bro. You get a story, then create a headline out of that. What Jerry Jones said was not a story. He was responding to a question. But either way, like I said, bruh, Joy Taylor, you're just the first to get it this week, man. We're going to be on people's heads all week long. So y'all be sure to subscribe. Y'all know always in these videos. How them Cowboys. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments below. I'm sure y'all going to sound off. And take it away, Pastor. I can't deal with this no more.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.